if we allow Julie to increase her budget by almost 10%, how do we have public health, accounting, commissioners, maintenance cut 2%? Now, if we get into the budget and realize that there are some special requests, we should weigh those and argue which ones we can grant. But her instructions were clear, 2% cut and delivered to you by Friday at 5. Neither of those were done.
Well, I did get hers, I just didn't get this letter,
Okay,
I just got numbers.
right, which didn't reflect the instructions given.
And I know she did come to me because at one point in time, she did say $35 for the new sanitarian, and she comes back, and no, that's not right. So we adjusted that back down when she was doing her wages part. But she did want to increase Janaea 4 hours to make her eligible for health insurance. And increase
Now,
Sarah 1 more day a week. Is what she told me she was doing when she was submitting her budget.
And she was adding Janae for another 6.
So she
right,
wanted her-
now, couple arguments. One, she didn't come to us, we're the commissioners. She did not come to us for either of those requests of her staff. 2, you would never increase somebody 4 hours to give them health insurance. You increase them a number of hours because you have a workload you need to get done. But there's this line where she just will not talk to us. And this is not okay.
What I got verbally, she's putting in here. Some of it, she's talking about increasing her rates, but I didn't know how much.
So I've asked to talk to Julie today, and I think we need to. I think it needs to be a closed door. But we need to drill down to this. But I think an email to Julie needs to be sent from the finance officer that says, we have this request on file, but we need your budget proposal with the 2% cuts. And don't we have in the budget structure that we sent everyone, that if you have a special request, put it to the commissioners and they will grant
And my
or
last
inform
email
you?
was to come if you didn't have it by Friday.
Yeah. Responses to special expenditure requests will be given by Monday, June 25th, 2018. This is
They had to come.
inappropriate.
This was just photocopied.
No, it's, I'll make you a copy and give it to you if you don't mind my underlines and she can scratch. Okay,
I'll probably add some on my phone.
sounds good,
This is what I got, so,
right?
and I was just putting numbers in as they came in on Friday, trying to get something done,
Sure. No, you
so.
You did fine. Every
Well-
department had instructions, and they had 3 memos with those instructions. Deviating from the instructions is not okay, period. It shows a lack of working as a team, it shows a lack of a lot of things.
No, I agree with her wages could help offset, or the increased fees could offset some of her request. But based on work, yes. Is Sarah doing that much? I don't think I've seen Sarah come in as much as she initially said she would be. So is that gonna change?
Yeah.
I just don't know.
What about that $659 airfare?
That, I think I overheard her telling Michelle it's tied to that grant,
Right,
but that's all I've heard.
but there was no communication with this commission, none.
We don't get the grant for 3 years, and she's looking for a job somewhere else, a full-time job. So we're gonna pay for her training, and she's gonna go to another county, she's gonna use our training to get a grant that we're also applying for. And that's the same thing with adding another day for her. Why do we wanna add another day for her and she's gonna leave?
Yep,
And we don't know what we're getting, so now we're gonna get somebody else in here that maybe they do all this. Evidently, she's doing it all in 2 days anyway.
So there you have it.
yeah,
And the thing is that she cut 2% out of her expenditures, but she added 10% in her wages.
exactly,
Yeah.
And then on top of that, so when this deal comes in here and we give Janaea 4 more hours, she goes to insurance. So
There's
does
another cost.
everybody that she works for have to pitch in for that insurance, or does all that insurance doesn't come out of Julie's, doesn't come out of Julie's budget? Comes out of the general fund, right?
it comes out, actually out of everybody's budget equally, and
So
goes
then
into
that
Because
the
of
is-
the
separate fund.
permissive and,
So she impacts everybody else she works for.
anybody who gets insurance, it impacts everybody.
Yeah.
With the permissive levies and the general health levies. And we took decreased the general health one a whole mil last year.
Right. Now, that's not to say that we couldn't actually discuss bringing Janaea to full-time. I think there is the work here. But that's a discussion, again, with the commissioners, that we were not afforded. I'm not opposed to having the discussion, but we sent out a memo, we all worked on it together. Julie is obligated to follow the instructions of her supervisors, and she opted not to, and it's as simple as that. I would like to have that discussion, because I think that there's arguments for it.
Mhm.
And it's not Janaea, it's that position of clerk for sanitarian. Julie's paid way too much money to be doing some of the clerking work that she does when Janaea isn't there. So the
Well,
other,
The thing is, the other part of that too, though, is that if you don't get these I mean, you're gonna increase those fees, but if you don't get the amount of revenue that you're predicting you're gonna get out of it, then that has to come out of the general fund again.
correct,
Because you're supposed to be contributing you're supposed to do enough of that to counterbalance that, and if that's not happening, then the general fund gets hit again.
mhm. Yeah. The other area of contention this budget season is the county attorney. I brought this up to Mike already, but I wanna share this with you. He says here that the county's inability or unwillingness to fund a part-time, he took that off the table last year, we didn't.
Mhm.
So, you know, he starts this with dishonesty,
Well,
and I don't appreciate it.
know we, at a later meeting, came in and agreed some of the savings, if he needed to, for the rest of the year, and he never did. I mean, we sat here and waited and waited and waited and waited, and he never did, so it's not our inability or unwillingness.
Right,
I think he's just so busy,
but again, everybody's busy, his busy is because he's disorganized, not because of workload. I have decided, to discontinue working as the, city attorney. It's not his place, that's our contract with the city, he's way out of bounds on that, but that means he's gonna have to find that $18,000 savings. Let's see, and then item number 2, he wants to increase the secretarial position from 20 hours to 8. I'm gonna say no, and
I thought
I think we're in
I
agreement.
thought he wanted to cut it from 20 to 8.
20 to 8.
oh, he wants to increase it, right, right, sorry, thanks.
He wants to decrease it.
Decrease, which that's all she's doing anyway.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And that's funded out of the Barres Fund, which we're keeping.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that can be a wash. But no more hours to that, because we just don't have the money. Oh, he says here that he has paid his, salary overpayment from 2015 and 16 in this paragraph here. And in bold, to date, none of those funds have been allocated to the Barris case. Has he indeed paid those?
The way that works is we budgeted to spend for 80 hours. And so when he's refunding that, he essentially didn't get paid some of that money. So it's sitting in the general fund as unpaid wages. So it's not like it's revenue going anywhere, it's just unpaid. So yes, he has, because he hasn't gotten the money for that amount.
So.
But I haven't done
Wait a
any of
minute.
the amendments transferring that amount of money to the Boris or anything.
He was paid in 2015,
Right, but it
correct?
came out of this year, so by decreased wages.
No, we didn't know until 2007, till last year.
Right.
That he had been paid
Right.
erroneously and he needed to repay the money.
Right,
So for 2015, was he paid his full salary?
yes,
Okay, so doesn't he need to repay that money per that MCA that was over the 120 hours?
which he is out of 17-18 by not getting paid for the work he's done.
You're
So
taking
rather-
it out of his paycheck
Right,
continually?
right.
Okay, all
So
right.
that 1 year is paid for, but the other 2 years that he went over his hours has not, as he has not come back to me
Oh.
with, here's the hours I worked. He was gonna check his schedule and find the dates of all his military leave so we could come up with the hours and the amount he was overpaid in those other 2 years.
So if you don't have that done yet, are you taking it out of his current salary?
So his repayment for the 1 year that we've got wages on, that he agreed to for 15-16, or 16-17, we have already refunded that by him not getting paid. There just has not been an amendment reducing the paper that shows he just hasn't got paid for it. So rather than him write us a check, we pay him and he turned to write us a check and we put it right back in. It's just unpaid, it's just revenues that weren't paid out
For 17,
for just this last year.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so for
And we're watching 17-18
Correct,
so that he doesn't go over.
okay, but for 17, that's been repaid by Corey through his decreased paycheck
Right.
every month.
Right.
Okay, so we did by vote agree that that money could be put in the Boris fund.
Mhm.
Okay,
And that
Good
would be
with
done
that.
by an amendment, which I haven't done
Understood.
yet. Okay.
understood, okay, so 2016, fiscal year 2016 and fiscal year 2015, you have not gotten back from Corey what he believes those hours are at this point.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
so we'll need to take that out this year from his paychecks, probably the same way. But that money needs to go into the general fund, into, this, to offset this 18,000 that he just canceled as revenue for the general fund.
So we would have to say he will not get paid X amount of wages. But that's where I need a total. So you can say over the hours over, here's the total he was overpaid. And of that amount, then that's covering, so we can keep track of, he still has money left, where's he gonna come up with the difference?
Okay, and here's where he's gonna come up with the difference, is in September of 2015, do you need to share something, Franklin?
What?
Oh, I thought you were writing a note. I just
No,
wanted
this
to know
is
if you
just-
wanted to share it.
I just gave him the letter from Corey.
Okay. So in September of 2015, Corey got a $3 per hour raise for both his staff.
Okay.
One is no longer here, so that's gone, and the other one is now being paid for by a grant, and I believe that's 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is a savings of about $8,000, which leaves us a deficit of 10. 1 year of that payback was 7,800 last year for 17. So, assumption is it'll be about 7,800 for 15 and 16. I would say one of those years, if it is the 7,800,
Okay,
could
I'm
offset
following
that.
you. Okay.
Okay. And then the balance, I would say the balance of that 10,000 could go into the Boris fund
Okay.
as well. And should that money be needed, it's there for this, for, his secretary, which is only for Boris trial work,
Okay.
and then, play by ear, beyond that. All right, we tracking?
I'm tracking now.
Okay, me too. And I don't know what you do well enough sometimes to communicate, so I'm glad that you stop me and ask me, and vice versa.
It's why we talk.
Exactly, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Because I see it differently in my head because I have to make the actual entries happen to show on paper.
Right,
And so that's where I'm coming from. If I can't see it happen on paper, how's it supposed to work? So that
Sure.
you see it on paper with what you're wanting.
sure, yeah.
Like I said, I'm visual. I gotta see it.
And
Because I work on the,
I encourage you to do this with Debbie, one-on-one, too. I tell you what, this is how I've learned about the budget, is because of the way she conducts herself by saying, hold it, just like we did today. So I encourage you to do that. So, number 3, we're not gonna do a contingency under the county attorney's budget, because we don't do that, it's inappropriate.
yeah, and we
And
kind
he
of.
knows that, he's been told at least 7 times.
That first year, it was set up with Carla here unbeknownst, that's how we got in trouble. So we can't do it that way. So we haven't had it since he's been here.
Right, but he doesn't understand the line item budgeting or bottom line budgeting yet.
I understand what he's trying to, I finally clicked what he's trying to get at.
Sure,
You know, the money he doesn't spend, I get, but it's not like you get to take, okay, I didn't spend $200 this year, so I get to add that and increase the same $1,000 I budgeted this year. So now I've got $1,200 to spend, because that's where my savings is going, even though I didn't need it. You get the same amount from year to year to year, just you didn't spend it this year. But, okay, now next year you might, so you still get the same $1,000. And that's where the misconnect is.
sure,
He's looking for it as a savings like you would in your own account. But he's sharing this account with how many of the rest of us? So
Right.
it doesn't work that way, and it's disconnect.
yeah,
So I get where he's trying to come from, finally.
sure.
But yeah, it's not working that way.
So if you separated him out, what would happen with it then?
Well, that's where talking some more with Bob. We have to have a right bars account like we did with the bars. It's a special. But if he's guaranteed as a general fund money, there's really no way to separate that out. He doesn't get it. Now, if he needs, like you guys have talked about separate CIPs for savings, that can later, something happened and he no longer has canceling that capital improvement plan. Kind of like what Bob was talking about last time we were here. That's about the only proper way for him to recognize any savings. Same way with anybody else in the general fund. The only way to save that is to have it for capital improvements up to a certain amount, but whoops, we're not gonna do that, and here's been a change, like Bob was saying. That's about the only proper way we could do it.
And what,
Otherwise, it's just all of us. Otherwise, we'd all have that same thing and there wouldn't be any reserves in the general fund.
what Corey doesn't understand is because he saved money in one line item does not mean he saved money in his full budget. And when you don't have reserves, you don't have a savings. The savings that goes into a CIP is for reserves over 33%. That's what he also just doesn't get and just isn't hearing those who do understand the budget and what we're telling him. So number 4, we addressed that with Corey already a couple of times. We are going to take the actual amount, I don't know if it's the $37.50 or if he rounded, but we're gonna take the actual for that LexisNexis from Pilt and put it into that 330. And we decided that a couple months ago.
Okay.
And I think
Yeah,
that's
so he's
it
going
there.
over line item. and-
Right. Well, and you can see it in his graph here. I think he is looking at like 210, saying, well, I saved $200, I should get to keep that.
You
No, it doesn't
do,
work that
we
way.
budget the same amount next year.
Right.
So it doesn't go anywhere, we just aren't losing it. You still get to spend that this year should you need it. Just like anticipating to spend it, well, I didn't spend it, but oh, something's come up and now I'm gonna spend it next year, so I still need that amount of money. You're not losing it because you're budgeting the same amount.
But in your home checkbook,
But in your home pocketbook, yes, you would.
right, but this isn't your home checkbook, this is governmental accounting. I had the opportunity to interview a woman at Board of Crime Control who did not have her CPA but had the certified governmental accounting
Mhm.
certificate. And the head of finance for DOC said, it is 10 times harder than a CPA and people don't understand how different CPA, certified public accountant, and certified government accountant is. He said it's oil and water, black and white. So it is what it is.
Well, and if you look at the expenditure report, the budget prep today, that I just printed off, like at 10 o'clock this morning, he budgeted to spend overall $193,819. As of today, he's only spent 85% of his budget, so he's not even close to overall his budget. So if he were to put the same amounts in this year as last year, he's already gonna guarantee he's got that money to spend next year. That's the savings I think he's looking for. It's not adding to that 193,
Right.
that difference of 30,000. He's getting that same amount to spend again this year. That's where he's savings.
Yeah,
And that's where I think there's the confusion. And he did cut it down. So far, his actuals from 17-18 to 16-17 are way down. It's huge.
yeah, yeah,
So he is getting it, but it's just, I think, he's not phrasing it as such that he gets it,
right,
so that we know he's getting it.
yeah.
But he is savings, he did good. I know we still have June's payroll, but I think for the most part, he's better than some of the rest of us
Absolutely.
in
Yeah.
his whole account. So,
And I would like to reward that, and that's where we came
Mhm.
up with the plan
Mhm.
of, if you are under the 10%, you get to keep $100 per full-time employee in a CIP. That'd be a $300 infusion,
mhm,
because Kelsey is under the Barus,
mhm.
which, if that one stays, obviously, we could actually throw another 50 in there as part of that plan as well.
You know, when we started budgeting for this, I even budgeted this year 2 days a week. So if he's only gonna use her 1 day a week for that extra day for her, that's even changed the salary he might need out of here already. So he's already kind of seen a savings by what he's not spending.
Right, right.
But now the way this is,
So you actually don't see a lot of issues with this, just the verbiage.
more of it's his verbiage and
Okay,
how he's wanting to see things versus how we have to do them.
Okay,
I think the end result is just that communication. I say
Yeah.
apples and he says apples. Or like Nick used to say, water is water.
yeah.
Okay, it's still water, just as a different way of saying it, and it's getting used to that different verbiage and concept that I think we've struggled with.
Okay,
'Cause that-
but you understand it now.
I'm getting, after I understand where he's coming from, I
Okay.
do. It's just how he's phrasing it, it's, it makes it sound like he's asking for more, but I don't think, if we go with the way we need to, I think he'll see the concept
Okay,
and not focus on line item. I know, yes, he is over on a couple of them, but that's why I keep trying to tell him, no, bottom line is, it's to give you a visual at what the true cost of those services are.
yeah,
As long as down here you're not over, you're good. And I've talked with Sherry, and she understands, so she tries to help him too. Because she understands this a little better, because she's been around it longer.
yeah.
Doesn't make it easy.
No, well, and, you know, it is offsetting the first sentence,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
we'll attribute that to stress, and, yeah, it sounds like you know what's going on as far as all this goes, so I'm good with it. good with our plan and sticking to it.
I think once we get some of these changes, I gotta get that amendment done. I think when you see some of that, it'll alleviate some of his uncertainty too.
Okay. Are we good with the preliminary budget a week from today?
I will give it my best.
Okay, if not, let's do it the Monday after, 25th?
Having to start with the wages, that will infill a lot. We've done a lot of this cleanup, I think that will help.
Okay. All right,
So I will get that done, because we have to advertise for it.
right. Does it have to be 2 weeks?
Mhm,
Okay, then we can't do it till the 25th anyway, right?
mhm.
Okay, let's do it the 25th then, and then that gives us some time to get this done. But we really can't start negotiating the budget till we have that done.
And that'll be perfect timing for that to come out,
Okay.
and then the valuations will come out. And then that's where, how close to are we doing? We'll show it space.
Right, okay,
And I'm hoping we'll do good, but we've prepared for the worst, so I don't think it could get any worse unless truly we are cut more mills and get less revenue because of that.
right, which I don't see, but we
I
need
don't see.
to, we as a commission need to actually make sure that we get the intent to build done. We need to start getting into the Department of Revenue numbers, sent those to Nicole, did I include you? I'll include you, I might have forgotten, Nicole, Brian, and Mary, and Julie got those, but revenue gave us the total number of homes
Oh.
we're taxing.
Okay.
So we should be seeing some percentages that, if they don't reflect reality outside, we need to start addressing now. So
Okay.
we'll need to have some group discussions in the next couple of weeks. But I do think we need to talk to Julie today if we can, in a closed door. I think we're good. Do you have any questions of us, Julie? Or, what's your name?
So Julie's here?
Right?
No.
Okay.
But I will say, I think some of the misunderstanding with the 2% will be on me if people aren't on their whole budgets.
Okay,
And so I will go back and look and make sure, because I know everybody said, oh, I did more than 2%. But I think they were thinking operations,
okay,
because how do you cut wages? Not getting that concept. Now that I understand better,
yeah. Yeah,
it'll make it easier for me to explain to them.
Okay. Perfect. And, you know, if, for the preliminary, maybe we just go ahead and see where we're at right now, except for the problem children. And, just see where we're at for now.
Because I know like Michelle and I looked at our whole budget, including our wages to cut. We wouldn't have any budget left.
Right, I know it's just,
So,
2% is such a small amount.
We cut our operations where we
Right.
could,
Right, yeah.
so.
One thing, having the closeout, either not having the assistance with Bob or having the assistance of Bob late July could save us that right there.
Mhm, mhm. And I think our contract with them expires after 3 years, so I think we're looking at a new contract with them.
Okay,
So, and if it goes like last year, they didn't use everything we budgeted like they said they would, so I don't see it going up.
and if it
Hopefully
does,
down.
we have to cross that bridge.
But, you know, they've made changes to the OPEB, and those are some of those things that I would like to get my hands on, but it's just gotta have time.
Right, yeah,
Now that they're settled, could follow OPEB, the database ledger load, some of those little things that they've been doing, I can do, I just need time.
right. And with the online time cards, you may now have
A little bit
that,
more.
a little bit more, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And maybe we talk about, you know, getting you guys someone to help with the filing and stuff.
Michelle's working on it, but
Yeah, well, it takes time then away from HR and
Yeah.
claims, so. There's some things we can look at, but we've gotta get that foundation done,
yeah.
yeah,
So we're working on it, we're getting there. It has helped both of us. Just need some things. Oh, I did check with Black Mountain on the 2 pay periods. And Lindsay's first comment was, why do you want to go through more work for 2 more paydays?
Well,
So,
she's right.
they have a thing on that says how to change payrolls. So I need to read up on it to see if it will really save time for just these few people that are struggling with how to figure out their time cards, who've been doing it 12 years, or just
Maybe again, just a group discussion.
another again. And I know Doug's
We can
frustrated
help.
with
Yeah,
this idea of being cheated because they're not seeing it right after 8 hours is an old school wage and labor thing from how many years ago?
it goes back to
Or
morale.
another state that is just so stuck in some people's heads that getting it out of there just, I had to dig deep. You just aren't getting it.
It's morale.
If I were to do on a whole month and say, here, you do these different scenarios, I think they'd see there's no difference. It's just a matter of when you're getting it and when you're not. Is really what it boils down to. It's
Yeah.
not that you're not getting it, it's just a matter of this period or next period. And I know when they did elections, 16-hour days is a long day. I totally get it. But, and Doug gives them the option as overtime from elections. So they get the choice of the time or the pay. So it's not that they won't get the equivalent, it's just a matter of when.
Yeah,
So Lindsay just laughed. I'm like, well, I gotta look into it because there's an issue.
sure. Yeah,
So that's what we're doing. She just laughed.
yeah,
So that told me that it's probably a lot more work than it's worth
sure.
in the long run. And not gonna save us anything, so.
Before the preliminary budget, may I request that you email these out and include both Nye and Daryl as the top 2 vote getters in the election, so that they can sit here with the paperwork
Okay.
and follow along?
Okay.
And then the 3 of us, if you just email it to us, there's no reason that we need to have you spending accounting money on paper, especially this much of it. We can print it, we should print it, and bring it to the meeting.
Okay.
Um,
And I will have to get those emails from you or somewhere
Which emails?
for Nye and Daryl.
Oh, I will send those to you, yes. I think Michelle has them, I think she's sending them the agenda.
Okay.
And then when do you guys wanna talk to Julie?
You wanna talk to her today, or?
I would
I'll have
like
to see if she's out in
to,
the field, because I think it was dark at the end of the hall, because she come in, Mike moved her car this morning because they're putting gravel, and she come in, where'd my car go? So I think she was out in the field, or will be out in the field,
okay,
if she isn't already.
all right. Being across the hall, I see her come in and out
Okay.
during the day. Do you wanna schedule something tomorrow, or? I'm gone at Youth Justice Council all day Wednesday and Board of Crime Control all day Thursday. So tomorrow is my only day.
Try to schedule something early in the morning. I have a 1 o'clock in Helena tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah,
And
we
on
have,
Thursday, Friday.
at 10, it'd be a war tomorrow.
Huh?
The Shiloh would be a war
Oh,
tomorrow.
that's right.
so if we could meet with Julie at 8 o'clock
At 8, yeah,
tomorrow morning?
that'd work.
Okay,
How about 9?
Huh?
no, because we need time to talk to her, Franklin, 8 o'clock, because of
Oh,
our
the
10
next
o'clock
meeting's at 10.
WR, right?
Yeah. So I'd meet her at 8.
And that doesn't cut into her day too,
Yeah, that would, because otherwise she'd
right?
have to wait around for us.
Exactly. It's a waste of her time. And if she comes in today, I'm available today.
You know, we got 2:30 now.
What's it, 2:30?
Union
Was that starting, I thought that was starting next Monday. Is that starting today?
starts today, starts at
Okay.
11. Isn't the union negotiation today? At 2:30? What is today?
I thought it was the 18th. Isn't it next Monday?
I think so too.
I thought it was the 11th, the 25th, and the 27th.
I don't have it here, right here, I have it on my desk. I thought it was the 18th was the first one. maybe,
Well, if nobody has it, maybe it is the 18th.
Right, and it has to be posted, not on the commission agenda, but it has to be posted.
Oh, I
So-
better look at that again. I thought it was the 11th.
I think it's the 18th to
at what, 1:30 or what?
2:30.
2:30.
Yeah, and I forget the time on the 27th.
I can't remember either.
Because isn't Corey on military?
He is,
So
but
he was
he's-
gonna be available maybe by email if he needed to be.
Right, he's just an advisor,
Mhm.
so that,
And he'll be back, he'll be here the 25th.
Yeah.
okay,
I think there was something about he was gonna be gone, so we could by email sporadically if he was needed, was his response.
yeah,
And me,
yeah.
told Allison, if you need me, I'll be there, but he's been asking for stuff, so,
Aaron's been?
yeah.
Good,
Well,
okay.
evidently Wynn must have thought it was the 18th too, because he's out shooting, right?
Yeah, we shoot at 3 o'clock today.
Oh, I'm not negotiating when they're shooting.
No.
Yeah, we gotta qualify.
Speaking of agendas, Michelle will be back this afternoon, so she wants to be sure any agenda items, we get to her,
2 times a year.
so
Twice a year.
that
Yeah,
she can get it done. She, had
I'd like to do
her
more.
MRI on her ankle this morning,
Oh, all right,
and then she had physical therapy this afternoon at 2, and then she'd be back.
okay. All right,
So, she's wanting it to be done.
yeah. I don't know of any items off the top of my head, but I know we have quite a few. We should do adjusted journal entries.
What's that?
We should do the adjusted journal entries next Monday,
Yeah.
and then, follow up on budget stuff.
What else we got for next Monday? We got the Winston Tire people.
Oh, that's right, yeah,
And this year,
for
we
an
just.
hour at 11. What's that?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I think that's it.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, the tire, we moved it to the 18th, because I remember that.
Right.
Oh, I got all the journals done for all the terminations, and we pushed the maximum this year. 45,717 out of the 50 I had budgeted.
Oh, you know what? Let's talk about comp time. Is that
Oh.
what you're talking about?
Well, no, this
Okay.
is the payouts of the accruals, the benefits I have to set aside, so when people
Yeah,
quit,
exactly.
all their accruals are sick, their vacation, their comp time.
Yeah,
50,000 this year, so hopefully we have one more, and I don't think she qualified for anything but a little bit of sick leave
we
to do,
should,
so that's close.
we should include that in a discussion next
Yeah.
week, the comp time, so that we have something to tell department heads as far as not letting that accrue too high.
Mhm.
Michelle doesn't want it in the, personnel policy handbook, but we need to have it somewhere. Doesn't want us to get caught with a policy that we're not following, kinda goes to the whole,
Mhm.
yeah. So,
Which if it's in there, people know,
exactly, I know, I'm with
it
you.
gives a guideline, gives grit for the department heads' teeth.
Mako likes to err on the side of caution,
Yeah,
yeah. So,
so that's how we like with,
anything else, Mike, if I turn
No,
off
I
the
think
camera?
we're adjourned.
So we're good on public safety, we need to discuss anything.